So you're joining me here today at the absolutely stunning Redhill Fishery. It's a Wednesday open match today. We've got about 15 to 20 on it, which is a really good turnout for a Wednesday match. It's on Molly's and Tilly's Lake today, which is probably my favourite two lakes. Penny's Lake is a little bit different to those two lakes. There's a lot more eyed up in Penny. So this is today, it's just going to be an out and out F1 and carp match. What my plan is, I'm just going to start short, hopefully catch shallow and maybe end in the edge. It's going to be like 20, 22 degrees today, not so much wind. We've had some northeasterly winds the last few days, so I would imagine the water temperature would have dropped just a touch, but fingers crossed if I can get on a good little area, the top end of Tilly's, the road bank of Molly's, I can have a really good day. And if I don't draw such a good area, I'm sure I'll still catch a few fish. Right, so we've drawn peg 12 on Molly's Lake. A little bit disappointed with the draw. It's really not the best of draws. So basically on this lake, you've got like a road bank, and that road bank 259 is usually very good. I'm just sat back a little bit in this corner here, but there's so many fish in this lake, so who knows? I'm gonna fish a short hard pellet line where I'm just literally gonna tap in some 4mm hard pellets and then fish a little 6mm on the hook. With the 6mm hard pellets, if you sieve through them, every now and again you can find like a 5mm. So I'm going to put one of them on the hook and just tap in 4mm and hopefully get a really good start on that. I am going to fish a shallow line, maybe with pellets, maybe with casters. If I start with casters and catch some smaller fish, I might change to 4mm pellets again. And then I am going to fish an edge line as well, where I've mixed up some Sonubaits marine green and I've soaked some 2mm Thin Perfect pellets as well. So that's my general plan. I'm going to start on 4mm hard pellets with a little 5mm on the hook. I'm going to fish shallow, probably start with casters, but I might have to change to pellets. And then I've got my edge line where I've mixed up my marine green, my 2mm, and I'll probably fish with worms or dead maggots on the hook. But that's my general approach. Not the best of pegs, a little bit disappointed in my peg, but this venue's so good, there's so many fish in there. Hopefully if I can get a good little start on pellets and then go shallow and then end and fish a nice match, get all my timings right, I'll still catch a few fish for you. Right, so got all my bait sorted, got all my shallow rigs out and just started doing a little bit of plumbing up. And I've always wondered when I've come to Redhill, I've never actually drawn this little bit, why this bit isn't quite as good as like the road bank. And since I've put a plummet on, all of a sudden I understand why. We've got no depth here. So basically, when I plumb up here, I've got about 2.5 to 3 foot. Over there, you've got like 6 foot. And I think those bigger F1s just like sitting in that deeper water, and that's why you catch shallow so well. But what I will say, it is warm. So that shallower line here might be good for a few carp. And the other thing I'm thinking, if it is shallow out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish shallow, but I'm going to fish a little bit further and try and get into that deeper water. But I totally understand now why this little area is not as good as some of the other areas. Got to be honest, I've always drawn really well every time I've come here, and I've always drawn that bit. So yeah, but no, it's nice to understand what's going on and why this bit's not quite as good. But I'm going to adjust the way I fish a little bit because of this depth difference, and hopefully still catch a few. Right, so we are 11 minutes before the start of the match. It's taken me a little bit longer than what I wanted to get ready because I couldn't really find a nice spot in the edge, and it's on my short line's a bit shallow, so I was had a little plumb around just trying to find a nice depth. But I'm about ready to go. I'm going to start short on hard pellets. I might change that to maggots after it goes, depending on how good it is. I'm going to start my shallow line with casters. But if I do start catching small fish, I'm going to change to my 4mm hard pellets. I've made a decision as well since I last spoke to you, is that I'm not going to feed ground bait in the edge because the bottom's really bad, it's all rocky. So I don't want fish coming in and sieving the ground bait off the bottom. So I'm just going to feed micros and I'm going to put worms on the hook, and I'm just going to be a little bit more positive with that. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can catch a few short, have a real good run shallow, to win the match I probably won't come off shallow, but I don't think this is a good shallow area at all. So if I can just keep a handful of fish going shallow and then have decent run in the edge, fingers crossed I'll still have a good day. I think it's going to be a push to come top 3 from here because we've got some real good anglers on the best pegs, but you never know. It's a lovely day, it's a lovely venue, lovely setting, so there's a lot worse things we could be doing today. It's nice to have a bit of a chill before the start of the match though, do you know what I mean? Right, so that's all in. I said before the start I was gonna start short on my hard pellets, but literally just before the start of the match I've had some carp pop up. So I'm just gonna have a couple of minutes dobbing, just see if I can get one quickly. There's that. But to be honest, they're just sat there, they're not really moving. I don't think they're going to be the easiest to dob. Like, that was perfect then. I just plopped it like 3 inches in front of his nose and he's not interested at all. So I'm not going to waste too much time doing this because you could quite easily just chase shades all day. So yeah, right, that's not, I thought I might get lucky and just nick one quickly, but it doesn't look like that, so it's fine. Just wasted a couple of minutes, but that's not too much of a problem. It was worth a look because I could have caught one 6-8 pounds straight away. So I'm going to feed some casters shallow and then start short on my hard pellets. I'm going to start short exactly how I said I was going to. So I've just found a little 5mm to put on the hook, and I'm just going to fill my pot up with some 4mm hard pellets. Dip them in the edge. What I'm going to try and do is just fish short, nice and patient, just try and catch a couple of fish and carry on feeding my casters. But no indications yet. Normally when you're on quite a few fish here, you like tap your bait in, drop your float in and you get indications straight away, but I was sort of expecting this and I'm just hoping that my shallow and my edge lines come good. Tony on 2's got another one. That's my first bite. Oh, there we go. Nice big F1 to start the day. Which is a really good sign that it's an F1 because there's a good chance I could go out shallow and catch some F1s as well. So I'm going to click that at 3 pound. But if you're catching short like this, well, I've had one, but when you are catching short like this, it's very easy to neglect your shallow line. So, just gonna make sure feeding my casters out there, because I've got a feeling that could be good with this weather. Try and get them nice and accurate. Little indication there. I just noticed on my caster shallow line that third time I fed, I had a swirl, so that's a really good sign. It's a sign that the fish are coming to the casters already. One little indication on that first feed, so I'm just gonna tap a few more in, not loads. There's lots of fish being caught, but that's pretty standard for Redhill. What normally happens, everybody goes in, catches some fish, and it's easy to get carried away and just start rushing. But I know it's a 6-hour match and you need longevity in your peg, so I'm just gonna keep building that caster shallow line up. Only the one indication, but that's fine. I'm not worried at all. I didn't think this short line was going to be good with it being so shallow. Just got to make sure that I really stay on this caster line and just try and make that work. Because I feel like if I was just to try and fish short here today, and I'm just not going to compete. Right, so basically I've gone in short. I had that one fish, that one decent F1, but I can just tell that it's not right, you know, like it's way too shallow. If I just don't feel like it's a great area for fishing short. So I had that swirl on my casters. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go out early and just see if I can get some fish. Just going to like literally, like there's only 13 minutes gone. But I'm just going to see if I can catch early shallow and then just get into a bit of a rhythm with it. So I'm going to start on my 24, so 2 foot deep. I've had some casters. I'm going to go out. It's an overshotted rig and see if I can hook one like this. So straight away, if you want. So I've hooked it. I'm going to feed and then bring it in. Feels like a decent fish. Which is a really good sign because I've caught straight away. So now all I've got to try and do is stay in control of my peg. Oh, that's a small fish. So I'm just gonna, now I've hooked that one, just gonna feed a little bit more bait. So, feeding before I go out. Just going to turn my rig over and start flicking. Going to flick 4 or 5 times and then start feeding. Right, there we go, there's another one. So a little bit more bait that time after I hook that roach. Make sure I keep those F1s really nice and happy. Feels like another really nice, decent fish. Right, that's a really good sign that we've caught that quickly. Just got to stay in control with my peg now. What depth to catch at, how long the fish stay in your peg for, how much to feed. But we're catching, so can't complain. Everyone's getting a few by the looks of things. Another real big, decent F1. Right, so what I'm going to need to do now is just think about my depths a bit. So I've gone out at 24. And I've caught 3, but it's not solid at all. Try and get my feed in as accurate as possible. There's another one. So it's not solid, but it's steady. I think I need to improve my feeding a little bit. Just concentrate on grouping it a little bit better. Need to group them a little bit better. That wind's cutting across me. It's better. There's another one. So I've hooked that one. I'm just gonna give it a little bit more bait. Once it's under control, I'm just gonna feed because it's gonna take me a little bit longer to get back out. Just be careful. Yes, we got him. So I'm just going to hold him in and feed again. Whack a caster on. Another one. Really happy with this. Oh, it just popped off that. Right, that might be a sign I'm fishing a little bit too deep. Just going to try and get one more. And then I'll get back at it. I might just pick up my shallower rig. I've got a feeling 20 inches is going to be brilliant today. Right, I'm just gonna, that wind's just got a little bit awkward, so I'll just give it a bit more bait. No, I'm just going to stay at this depth because it's nice. It's not like solid, but it's just nice. I've just got to really concentrate on grouping my bait. So we're hour in. I started short on hard pellets, caught one real decent one, missed a couple of bites. The whole time I was feeding, fishing short, I was feeding my shallow line. I've gone out and to be honest I've caught steady for an hour. I've caught right, I'm up to, what am I up to now? Up to about nearly £60 now. 55, somewhere between 55 and £60. And my peg feels really nice, to be fair. I'm fishing at 24 inches, straight in there, fishing at 24 inches, and that seems like a really good depth at the moment. I haven't actually changed depth yet, but this is what normally happens at Redhill. Normally go in, you'll catch for a certain amount of time, and it's all good, all fine, but then they might go, especially this area. Like I might catch for like 3 hours like this and then they'll just go. Then it's up to me to try and work out where my next fish is coming from. So I do really fancy the edge to my right. I've obviously soaked up my Fin Perfect 2 mils. And I'm still feeding a few Sonubaits 4 mil hard pellets short. So I've got a couple of options. If this dies, so if I catch for like 6 hours like this, then there's a very good chance I'll win the match, but I've just got a feeling in this area I won't catch all day like it. But my bait, my feeding's improving the whole time. I'm getting quicker, the grouping's improving. I haven't had to mess about with my depth too much yet, but I'm sure at some point I will. You can say what you want about this style of fishing, about being quick and having the right rigs and using the right elastics and everything, but if you don't group your bait correctly, you're just not going to catch properly. Grouping for me is everything. Oh, that's a good shot. Perfect net positioning as well. Now it's very, very easy to get carried away doing this style of fishing. Just start trying to fish too quick, which I'm very guilty of sometimes. Just going to just try and get into a bit of a rhythm, not make any mistakes, make sure my flick's right, make sure my grouping's right, and hopefully I'll be able to keep a few fish coming. But I got a feeling today, with no wind being in this corner, at some point I'm going to have to come back in on hard pellets or down the edge with my soaked 2 mil pellets and try and catch like that. So we're coming up to like an hour and 40 now, and I have caught well, but it is starting to go on me a little bit, which I thought it would do here. And the lads up to my left on 5 and 9 are catching really well now. But that's what I sort of thought was going to happen here, because these corners, they don't tend to live here as much. But still having a good day, still catching plenty of fish. I'm up to this will be about £90 of this one now, so I'm doing all right. But I've just got a feeling at some point I'm going to have to come in that edge or come back short and make something happen, because I feel like they're going to drift on me. I'm catching a different stamp of fish now as well to what I was earlier. I'm catching a lot of like 2-pounders now, where before I was catching a lot of like 4-pounders. So I'm just going to keep going for now, just keep steady, try and catch them at that 20-inch. Because you do foul looking odd them at 24. It's almost like a 22 today. It's a bit weird. But yeah, still plenty of bites and getting my elastic pulled out most chucks, so I can't complain. But I've definitely got a feeling today at some point I'm going to have to change lines or do something. This ain't going to be a day for 6 hours of shallow, you know. Right, so we are, what's the time? We are 2 hours and 10 minutes in now, and I had a little bit of a funny spell, to be honest. I couldn't quite work out what was right with my rig, and what I've done now, I've stuck with my 24-inch because that seems the best depth, but I've put some extra shot on the line, so I've got 8 number 10s on now, and I've changed my flick because I felt like how I normally flick it. I've flicked the water and then lower the pole and flick again, but for some reason today that doesn't seem right. It seems like you want to have a lot of shot on your line and flick your pole really quickly, a lot like a bit more like how the northern boys do it. And then all of a sudden my peg's gone real good again. But I don't know how long it's going to last. I've just got a feeling they'll drift off here. But there's not a lot I can do about that. I'm just going to keep going for the time being. What weight am I up to? I'll tell you now. I am up to 35, 90, 125, 130 pounds. So I'm not doing bad. What's that? That's just under £70 an hour. Do that for 6 hours, that's 340. So I'm catching at a nice rate at the moment, but fingers crossed it'll just stay like this all day. I'll catch a stupid rate, but I've got a feeling it will go, especially with Andrew Mann and Dan Driscoll on 5 and 9. It's like all of us are doing it in a line. But it is good at the moment, I can't lie. That's definitely, at the moment, that's easily 350 rate, easy, maybe 370. It's quite hard work this, to be fair. Should have gone somewhere else and checked the feed out. So it definitely seems better before I ship out to feed twice, don't know why. And then once I'm out there, flick really, really quickly. Once you've hooked one, a decent pouch full, and go, and then get them in as quick as you possibly can. And repeat the process again. This fishing's all about process. Got to keep repeating the process Don't lose control, keep on your nets. Last thing you want to do is going over in a net and losing it. All that work you put in to catch it, and then go and lose it. Don't make any mistakes with your rigs. But I've got to be honest, it's a little bit different today than what it is normally, so I'm really enjoying it. Normally it can get a bit samey, but today I'm going to have to keep swapping, messing about, changing. So we are exactly halfway through the match, and literally, like a light switch, it's just gone on me. Totally gone. I was getting one every single chuck. Oh, except for that one. Moaned that one on a little. No, it definitely has gone. So I'm working through my depths, trying to keep a few fish coming, but I've started to feed my short line now as well. I just fed my short line for the first time then. I just threw some maggots. So I'm going to start to build that up, because I feel like I'm at the point in the match where it might start to drift away from me. But I'm at like 160, 180 nearly. Another couple of fish will be at like 180, so I'm doing alright. But I'm going to need a strong last couple of hours to win the match here, definitely. So I'm just going to, most chucks that I go out, I'm just going to do that with maggots and carry on feeding. And then the other option I've got is obviously when to feed my edge. Don't really want to feed it until about 2 hours to go. I don't want loads of fish coming in. It's mine. They might not come in, but I don't want to feed it too far advanced. So I'm going to just add that one then. That was £3, so I'll just stick with this for a minute. I haven't tried my 32 rig yet, which I know can be brilliant here, fishing at 32 inches. So I'll try that next in a minute, like 3 or 4 more minutes on this rig if I don't get one. Carp just come in me peg then. If I don't get one, then I'll definitely give that a go. Shame really, because I was catching so quick. I was on for a massive weight, but like I said from the start, I just feel like here it will go away from me. The other option is I can go a little bit further. I can put my 16 metre section on and just start fishing like half a section further. That can start catching you a few fish here. I've done that loads of times before. But before that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a go on that 32 inch rig, definitely. Just slow that flick back down again. I feel like this type of fishing is all about just swapping and changing and moving. Yeah, but they're definitely gone for me here. See, Dan's dropped in short now. That's a sign that his shallow line's gone. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my 32 rig on, so which is the deepest rig I got set up today, and I'll have a little go with that. If I don't get one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my 16 metre section on, go halfway up that, and just have another little go at that. But I'm going to keep feeding my short line as well. But a little bit disappointed. Thought I might get another hour out of it, but Right, so I dropped right down to my 32 and I never had a bite. It's just literally like a light switch just gone on me. So I've gone back to 24 because that's my best, been the best depth by an absolute mile. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to push out a bit and just see if the distance brings another run on. But I thought this might happen. I've been on this lake before and this has happened. You get to a certain stage and it just goes. The other option is I have set up on the bottom rig for out there. So I could drop down on the bottom and just see if I get a good little run on the bottom, but it is quite deep out there. Right. I'm going to come in, I'm going to put my bottom rig on. Just going to go out on the bottom over the top of where I've had those casters. I'm going to go out with like an inch piece of worm on the hook, like that. Got quite a lot of fizzing out there, so they might have just dropped down for a minute on the bottom. Right, so obviously my shallow line went all funny. I've just dropped on the bottom. I hooked something and then I had another bite now, but I got a feeling this is foul hooked. Like the bottom out there where I'm fishing is very soft and I'm getting a lot of fizzing. Yeah, I got a feeling this is foul hooked. It's a carp as well, which is usually what you catch on the bottom over the top. No, smack in the mouth. No, it's just under the fin, that one. Lovely fish though. So I'm going to have another go on the bottom, see if I can get one in the mouth. And then what I'll do, if I can't, I'll have another go shallow. And then I might have to drop in short on these maggots. Just going to keep fishing on the bottom for a minute, just see if I can catch a few more carp. And then I'll have a go shallow. I've got my short line, I've got my edge line. I'm not going to start messing around and starting new lines. I've just got my short line, I've got my... Oh, that was a bite straight away on that double caster. Right, so I dropped down on the bottom. I've got to be honest, I could get lots of bites, but it's so difficult to catch the fish on that soft bottom when I've been feeding casters there for 3 hours. So obviously when I've gone on the bottom, I've backed the feeding off a little bit, and I pricked 2 or 3 fish that were on the bottom, and I could just tell you're not going to catch a weight fishing like that because it's fizzing out there, and the bottom's soft. You're gonna foul up fish, you're gonna miss bites. So I've jumped up, back up shallow, and I caught one literally straight away then. So I'm gonna just be a little bit more cautious. I think I got a bit gun-ho with my feeding as it went. Just going to be a little bit cautious of how many I put in the pouch every time. Not how many times I feed, but just how much bait, and just try and keep them off. Try and keep them up rather than feeding on the bottom. Try and group it really tight. It's almost as if you're fishing pellets. I'm still feeding my short line with maggots, so I can drop on that at any point, but it's only like 3 foot. I just don't feel like you're going to catch well in that depth at the moment, the way it's fishing. Right, so we've got, it's 2:30, we've got like 2 hours to go. I've got to be honest, I've had a terrible little run. My shallow line just literally went on me. Unbelievable how it just went like that. I've had a real bad hour. So that was my first chuck short where I've been chucking some maggots, and it's literally gone straight under. So that is a really good sign, because if I can catch then, catch a few fish there. Whilst I'm fishing short, I can keep pinging maggots, keep pinging casters long. That's a brilliant sign, that, because I need somewhere else to go in my peg to catch whilst resting my shallow line, because unfortunately this area isn't good enough to catch all day on maggots, on casters shallow. It's just not, it's not the right area. So I'm going to keep feeding my shallow lines, try and do that as often as possible, and I'm just going to have a little go short, see how long I can catch for short. So that's another really good sign. Dropped in, it went straight under again on maggots. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the time where I'm playing them to feed my shallow line. Cool. There's a massive F1 that. It's huge. It's got to be easily £5 that. So basically I've come back short. I've caught 6 or 7 real decent fish, but I thought it was going to just keep going, but it's gone a little bit funny. So I've just replumbed up, like just on a top kit instead of a top kit, in top kit and a short 4, just to see if that makes a difference. And I've just literally fed some maggots straight on my float, just see if I'll sit there now and get one. A little bit more of a cleaner bite. There was, when I was fishing that little bit further, it seemed like I was getting quite a few missed bites, a few liners, I foul looked a couple. So I just want to come back. It's only about that much shallower, but I just want to see if that makes a difference. But if I don't get a bite pretty quickly, what I'll do, I'll go back to where I was fishing and just go back shallow, because I've obviously rested my shallow line now. So I should go back out and catch. See, that seemed a little bit of a better bite, that one. They are big fish short though, really, really big fish. Every one's like £3 to £5. So you don't have to catch quick. But I've got a feeling my shallow line might be quite good when I go back out. Right, so time wise, we are at 3 o'clock exactly. We've got an hour and a half to go. Struggling a bit now, to be honest. I feel like my peg's really gone away from me. I caught a few fish short on maggots. Like, they were, to be fair, they were really decent ones as well, like 3-4 pounders. But that went, and then I've gone back out shallow and I can't catch. It's really weird. I thought when I went back out after resting it, I thought it'd be brilliant, but it's not. Like, I feel like the fish really have drifted off here, but it's still fine. Like, I'm still catching an odd fish, which is really all I need to do for the last hour and a half, because I had such a good first 3 hours shallow. I am absolutely shocked though that, oh, there's one. I'm shocked though that my shallow line isn't better after that long rest when I caught short. It's a better one. But what are we up to now? We've got 40, so what's 4 times 45 is 180, plus another 40 with this one, 42 with this one, so we're up to like 220. So I'm doing okay. I'm not going to beat Andrew, man. He's literally caught shallow all day on peg 5, which is lovely. He's done brilliant. But every time I've drawn over there, you just catch shallow for 6 hours. It's such a brilliant area of the lake, but fair play to him. But no, I'm having a mint day though, to be fair, catching loads of fish, big F1s, and it's quite nice just to have to swap and change. Unfortunately, it's not been the case today, so that maggot line, when I first went in on it, I caught like 6 or 7 fish really quickly, and I thought they might keep coming, but the wind's like directly down the other end of the lake. So maybe if the wind would have been in there, I might have caught for a little bit longer. That seems a little bit better, that chuck then. My shallow line, maybe when I was resting it, I wasn't feeding it very accurately. Because I was catching short, I was a bit gung-ho with the feeding. That's a carp as well. So, I'm really enjoying this, to be fair. I know it sounds stupid, it would have been nice to just go out and catch for 6 hours shallow, but having to swap and change, move, catch a few short, it's quite nice. Might have made a bit boring view as well if I would have just gone in and caught for 6 hours shallow. Right, we have got about 45 minutes to go. It's a little bit frustrating the last couple of hours because I can't keep one line going. Like, I have to go in, catch 6 or 7, then swap and change and move. Which is absolutely fine. Like, you can't expect to catch on one line all day, but to win, I probably feel like you would have had to today because Andrew's catching so well on 5. But it's still all right there. Oh. That's a bit weird. So I've dropped in, I've been feeding that really regular, really accurately, and dropped in a caught a roach, which is strange. I thought that had been good now. If that's the case, what I might do, if I get roached out here now, what I might do, I might feed the edge. I know there's only 45 minutes to go, but I could get like a good last half an hour or 20 minutes in the edge. That wind is a bit of a nightmare now. There we go. Don't feel quite right, that. Might be foul luck, that. I'll try my best to get it in. Carry on feeding my shallow line. Nice like 3-pounder. If I can drop in and catch 10 like that before the end would be lovely. A big one just hooked just outside the mouth. I had a little bit of luck getting that. Right, so I'm not going to waste too much time short. think it's a little bit too late to feed my edge. So I'm just gonna, don't want to mess about too much, swapping between lines and stuff. So I'm just gonna, to the end, I'm just gonna try and catch every single fish I can now. Right, so 25 minutes to go. And I've got to be honest, my peg's virtually done now. I just dropped in short then, I caught 3 fish on maggots on the bottom. I've gone back out shallow and I've not had a bite. Like, oh, there you go, again, moaned it on. But I've just literally got 25 minutes to go now. If I can just eke an odd fish out to the end, we'll have a decent weight. That feels a little bit better, that one. But it is really going for me now. Andrew Mann's caught really well all day over there shallow. Dan Driscoll up to my left's caught really well short late. He's had a great weight, so I don't know if I'll beat those two, but I still had a great day. Neither of my lines have been strong enough, I don't think, to beat them. Like I've had to keep swapping 4 or 5 fish, swap again, and if you've got to do that, then I don't feel like you're going to win on venues like this. You've got to go in on one line, but I'm really happy with the weight I've caught from this peg, to be fair, because normally this side isn't the best at all. Like, I fished a few festivals here, and that bank, I've drawn it quite a bit, and I've caught like 300, 250, 300, and the people around here have caught like half that, so I'm really happy with what I caught today. I feel like I fished a decent match. Foul looked a few when fishing on the bottom, but that's inevitable with how many fish are in this lake. That's a real decent carp, that. So I'm just going to take my time with that one. Really nice carp, that one. Just going to take my time. And the good thing is, when you're playing a carp like that, obviously it takes you a little bit longer to get it out, but if you keep feeding, your peg's almost being rested. So I'm just going to keep feeding, just be really cautious that it doesn't swim off and snap me. It's a really nice fish, that. Probably 6-7 pound. Oh, yeah, probably 5-6 pounds, I'd have thought. But nice fish to go out to. I feel like here, it's on my shallow line and my short lines, like the F1s have gone away from me. Like, I'm catching more carp than F1s now. But to catch the real big weights, I feel like you've got to catch carp. Sorry, no F1s. I feel like you've got to catch F1s to catch the real big weights, but I'm not moaning. Oh, there's one. See, when you keep feeding whilst you're playing a carp, because it takes you longer to get it out, your peg's a bit rested by the time you go back out. So it's quite often that you jump back out and you start catching again. Oh, that's a lovely one as well, that. Come on, another 10 of them before the end would be magnificent. Right, so that's the end of the match. To be honest, I'm really happy with the weight I've caught. Usually this bit isn't as good, but it's still been brilliant. Like, there's so many fish in this venue. If you can feed properly and you fish right, you get all your rigs right, it's just brilliant. I've had to swap and change. Like, I couldn't just fish shallow. I've had to come in, nick 3 or 4 fish short, go back out, catch 6 or 7, then come back in, keep swapping. But I could keep weight going in my nets, which is the name of the game, really. So yeah, had a brilliant day, loads of bites again. I don't think I'll beat Andrew Mann. He's basically caught shallow for like 6 hours there, and yeah, he's done brilliant. So but I've had a mint day, it's been class, and it was nice catching a few on maggots short as well. Caught a few carp. I've caught a few carp shallow late as well. So yeah, brilliant day. I'll let you know what's happened when I weighed in, but I reckon I've got about somewhere between 250, 270, something like that, which is a brilliant day's fishing. Yeah. So there we go, just weighed in. I've ended up with 297, which is a little bit more than what I thought I had, to be honest. I clicked like 285 and normally I'm a bit over, so I thought I had like 260. So I've ended up with just under 300. But what I've noticed from my nets was that the fish I caught short were bigger than I thought. Like, one of my nets went 53 pound and one of them went 52 pound, and that was the fish I caught short. Those great big F1s and odd big carp. And lucky enough, 297 was enough to win. I think Andrews had 281 over on peg 5, so it was very close. I thought he beat me, to be honest, but those fish short, the stamper fish I caught on maggot short were really good. But another incredible day here. Like, the fishing is just second to none. Shallow with casters, short with maggots, starting with pellets. But I do think I would have caught some fish in the edge if I would have soaked my micros, potted some micros in the edge. I'm sure I would have caught on that as well. Everybody's caught loads of fish, just another incredible day. So yeah, brilliant, can't wait to come back.